Hello and welcome back to Industriegigant, and when we last left off we had a little bit of a headache when it comes to electronic components, didn't we, my friends? And of course that was alluding to the situation all along throughout the early episodes, and this was the perfect demonstration as to why I was not mistaken, was I not? Okay, ultimately now we focus our attention on some crisis management, and we have to nurse a company back to health, and that may or may not be as easy as we think it would be, because we have no money and the target score is 10 million at the end of 2025 if I'm not misremembering. But of course there's only one way to find out if we're up to the task or not, right? Wouldn't you think? Okay, so at least we finally earned some money. I guess there's some deliveries here, which is at least something, I suppose. Okay, otherwise, yeah, let's just review our objectives here. But I think it was 2025, wasn't it? Yeah, indeed it was, right? Okay, so 10,000, oh yeah, wish, 10 billion at the end of 2025. And at the moment we need to fix some of our existing shortfalls and ideally also keep the existing infrastructure. I think it could be a good idea. I can already tell that those and skis won't pay the bills for us, right? So it's worth stopping out here immediately. Probably a good idea, I would think. Okay, then we try that. Of course we cannot do this when the game is paused, because why would we do? Yeah, if we could make ourselves some fitness trainers, presumably here, and some snowboards, if you wouldn't mind. And then see what we can do here, right? And also swap this out for these robots, maybe by chance. Just have to adjust some of the orders, of course. They don't even wait until full. Well, isn't that lovely? So we have our trains running all empty all the time, essentially. What a delight here. It would be much of the same story anywhere else, I would presume. Wouldn't you think? Very inefficient here, of course. Well, it pays some bills, I'm hoping. That's the only thing here I can put my trust in at the moment. Yeah, okay, a couple of them in storage, I don't think it's an absolute catastrophe. And we also need to make sure there isn't a massive stockpile of anything in here. Which doesn't seem to be the case, right? Okay, we're making at least a bit of money, so this seems to be stable for now. So next on the menu will be the other one over here. So what are we building? Yeah, what are we building indeed? We're probably not waiting for anything. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. We're actually waiting for something which is decent. And I even see some monorails around here. Isn't that lovely? But regardless, let's just double check all these trains' orders just to make sure. But they seem to be set up properly, which is nice. Yeah, except for this problem here, of course. Yeah, right, okay. I guess we just invest in some advertisement for now, while we focus on some other things here, maybe. It's not exactly great, but still. At least a bit of money on the side here is better than no money whatsoever. And I hope we're also delivering these, rubber boats, right? Without any problems, I'm hoping. How many can we deliver here? Okay, then we can increase the price just a tiny bit. Oh, quite a margin, actually. Alright, not too terrible. The setup could have been a lot worse, of course. And over here, we're building ourselves some skis. Okay, whatever. Although we should swap this out for some snowboards, of course. Better idea, probably. Okay, and how many can we deliver for that matter? There certainly is plenty of room for optimization, wouldn't you agree? So 18. So 3 train loads per month, essentially. Oh, that may work out, but only barely, right? Okay, which angle is the weakest one? Not really any, I would think. Interesting. So it's not as terrible as I thought it would be. At least we're making a little bit of money after fixing some of our problems. The infrastructure is a little bit ancient, but I don't think it's an absolute catastrophe or anything like this. But this needs to be adjusted here, of course. What do you mean we didn't deliver any... really? What? It's too far away? Really? Okay then, so we're wasting all of the stuff here because the toy store is too far away. Are you for real there, game? Well, apparently you're quite real here. Of course we have to fix this before we even do anything else. So good thing I checked then, presumably. Unbelievable, the fucking toy store isn't in the catchment area. Who knew it would be a problem? And then we do something else with this platform here or whatever. I think it's fine. No wonder we didn't earn any money over here then, presumably. Okay, please let me access the locomotive, thank you very much. And back here, please, if you wouldn't mind. Alright, so we fixed another problem, thankfully in time, I'm hoping. And what's the demand in here anyway? I don't think we can deliver 3 train loads per month anyhow. Yeah, or the train could just back out entirely, always a thing for us, of course. For no reason, because it's a conventional rail in here, and yet the train cannot manage. It just cannot. Wow, good year. Thanks for that game. That's what I meant when it comes to reusing vehicles in this game. It just ain't worth the trouble, frankly. Yeah, it just ain't. But everything is connected. Yes, we can get there, no problem. So what was the issue there? There was no issue is the answer. The game was just obnoxious for no reason whatsoever, essentially. Okay, just to make sure we can sell all these free train loads here per month. Okay, so I think everything seems to be humming along, but since we have just identified yet another problem, why don't we take a look at this? Again, just to be on the safe side, but I think it's only the sporting goods store anyway, right? So it's well within the catchment area, that's at least something. Okay, I don't hate the setup, but the town's a little bit on the smaller side, so I'm not quite sure how we can easily achieve 10 million per year. Yeah, just delivered way too many here, right? That's the problem. Alright, has to be good enough for now here. We need to make some money while I focus on some other endeavors in the meantime. But otherwise, everything seems to be humming along somewhat inefficiently, but does hum along, of course. So what do we want to focus on? We do have some mines here on the map, right? Okay, this is silver again. Silver rings don't pay for a whole lot, but they are paying some bills, of course. And this is what exactly, so also silver mine. Interesting. Let's just see about the demand here before we continue. At least we're earning some money in the background. Oh, we can only build the toy store, the sporting goods outlet, and the furniture store. So no electronic components for us here, or jewelry for that matter. Okay, interesting. So why then put the industries on the map if you cannot use them, you know? I'm not sure. So there's certainly lots of capacity in here for the products. I think we should probably do that. Yeah, so okay. What can we deliver here? What's nearby? Aluminium for tennis rackets, presumably, something like that. Since we already have invested in advertisement. Or we utilize the existing structures a little bit further. Also an option, of course. Even better option, I would figure. Yeah, what are we waiting for? Nothing, apparently. Okay, that's at least something. Okay, we need to diversify. I'm not quite sure what the profit looks like this year. In a clean year, I might think here, right? Okay, so already 3 million. BD. I guess we're finishing early today, then I would figure. With default, probably a bit more difficult here, but apparently not. In which case, there is no particular need to rush here, which is nice. I think, given the demand, we could use more trains for this. No problem. Yeah, this is without advertisement, of course. I mean, sure, why not? I think it's certainly feasible. I mean, we do have 2 factories in the area, and another one for some toys. Not a terrible idea. For now, we focus on some sporting goods. I do like some practice though. So maybe we try out the warehouse angle with a distribution center and attract us out to the smaller stores. It could be interesting since there doesn't seem to be too much to be concerned about. We only purchased some vehicles and a train station somewhere. And it's October and we only have a target of 10 million. So I suppose I shouldn't get too complacent. But overall, it doesn't look dreadful, frankly. Does it not? I think it looks pretty fine, actually. Yeah, okay, what about the sawmill though before we get too ambitious here? No problem whatsoever. That's what I like to see. Yeah, I think we may try that, but for these small expansions, I think that's fine. Let's go with something like this here. We can even just keep a conventional rail here, no problem. Him the existing locomotives, I would figure. Yeah, of course, reusing existing infrastructure, that means you have to squeeze it in here. Not ideal, but I think it can be done. There we have it, not a problem, right? Just took some finesse here, of course, but by the way, we can't have tunnels side by side, I believe, right? Oh, one exception in the entirety of the game, we can have that. Wow, imagine that. It's the only structure, the one and only structure where this is allowable. Imagine that, huh? Okay, miracles happen in this game after all, I see. So, okay, there is some wood deliveries. Then we need some steel, of course, for the second platform. Yes, it would make sense to diversify and build yet another station back here. But at the moment, I don't think it's really necessary. I want to focus on this warehouse angle. Assuming, of course, it isn't quite too fancy. Yeah, there we have it. So we have the off-frame already met almost. Isn't it interesting? Yeah, sorry there. Although, of course, it does cut into our existing customer base. Keep it separate, keep it neat and tidy, ideally. Now, relatively speaking, of course, everything is relative in this game. We don't even need the fastest locomotive, but these are, of course, pretty pricey to operate by comparison. But there is no speed limit in this game, of course, so I guess. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever, right, when you think about it. Yeah, going with an old locomotive, I mean. You can certainly deliver more than 2 train loads per month, that's an issue here, right? So I guess then we go for some advertisement here right away and see what we can do with that. It's been some time since we last heavily invested in sporting goods, right? Yeah, there shouldn't be any problems here, I'm hoping. I think it should be humming along pretty nicely, so we can leave this aside for now and see what we can do. Although there is a toy industry and there's plenty of plastic in the area. And this time frame we have a 65, that's pretty nice, wouldn't you think? If only the towns were any larger, frankly, but I think I do like my warehouse angle. I would like to experiment with this just a tiny bit and see how profitable we can make it. But of course we don't need to be too fancy. Now build a bit of a highway, for instance, something like that. I think I would like that. Depends on how much plastic we're going to need for this. Not too much, I would figure. Now, regardless, of course, we can always build a different sporting goods factory someplace, or toys, or anything in between, whatever we want to do. And we also build some mountain bikes, you know, stuff of that nature. This could be pretty decent. Unfortunately, we cannot utilize this mine, of course, back here in Finland someplace, I guess. Yeah, why don't we try that? That seems like a good idea. And then we see what we can do with our truck angle here. I would like the idea at least. Doesn't need to be super fancy. But all starts, of course, with a factory in this area. So we start focusing on some sporting goods once again. Putting out some mountain bikes, since of course, since we know that truck stops have to be spaced pretty far away, we need to use an warehouse here someplace with 360 coverage essentially. There seems to be a decent spot here. Yeah, there's no way we can fit all of this in here around the one factory. That's downright impossible. Never going to happen. I think we did have an all-truck mission or two in the other season, incidentally. I think one mission was actually impossible to put any rails. There was no space. It was a tiny island covered entirely by a large city or anything in between. And also pretty mountainous at the same time. Something like that. Maybe a short train line just to move the mountain bikes so there could be smart idea actually. Maybe. Then again, if it's an old truck angle, but then again, we cannot space these truck stops very closely together, can we now? That's the thing. As a matter of fact, truck stops and train stations can be directly adjacent. We learned this last episode, of course. Okay, so how many do we need? Ideally, not too many trucks for any given angle, so we just squeeze in as many truck stops within the catchment area as we can possibly manage. Which may be like, I'm not quite sure how many. Plenty? So, that's all we can fit in here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, one additional one. I think it's interesting. So, now we can focus on distributing these items here to nearby towns. I'd like that. So, we focus on mountain bikes first. As long as we can make some room for that, of course. So, what's the situation with the highway? We need to plan out the road network at least a tiny bit. Alright, this seems to be a no-brainer. Can also reuse this existing one here, it's pretty far away. And we could supposedly pick up something on the return trip if we wanted to. Yeah, I guess it's food for thought. The other towns, of course, they are not an issue here. Don't want to send too many trucks, especially on city streets, because we exactly know what's going to happen. Traffic jams and then some. Building up an entire highway network from scratch, it takes some time, which we may not have in this game because, well, you know, we cannot pause and build at the same time. So that's a problem. I don't think there are one-way streets in this game, incidentally, if I'm not misremembering. So, yeah. Highways don't make a lot of sense in this case. We just drive on the wrong side of the road regardless if you go for a 4-lane road or something like that. Yeah, we have plenty of time at this mission, looking at our statistics already, and that's only with the existing structures on the ground already. I find it kind of impressive, frankly. Are my crisis management skills that good? I don't think they are. It's probably just the mission not being as difficult as I thought they were. Interesting. But I take it regardless. Just to make sure if there's a traffic jam, we're not parking ourselves in the middle of the main road, you know, stuff like that. Okay, then we have to go all the way around, otherwise we cannot build a bridge over there, because there are structures all around, of course, unsurprisingly. Yeah, that's what I thought. Setting all this up takes some time, of course, but I think we're getting there. Okay, so good thing we noticed. So let's just see here. This needs to be focused on mountain bike production, ideally. Then of course we need to cut the stuff over here, so we use whatever locomotive seems to be appropriate. Wait on the full, of course, the most important part. Set up some shops, shouldn't we? Also some truck stops, of course, but demand comes first, of course. And with all of expenditures, regardless, we have earned about 5 million at the end of the year. We still will do so. So it's already the 50% mark, which is interesting. Surprisingly good demand in this tiny town, I have to say. Great start, actually. Don't want to demolish too many buildings here, of course. Yeah, but who cares about the parking lot, for instance? No one really, I would figure. So we have 7 slots available. This is 1, 2, 3, right? Already? Yeah, 4 actually. Alright. Certainly we can also go for some small scale local production. No one would be too upset about this, I would figure. Yeah, if only we could use the mine for something, but of course we cannot. Silver is not used in any other factory, I believe. Only for jewelry. Exclusively. I really wish the game would offer to auto terraform for you, because it's getting a little bit annoying here sometimes, you know? So this is connected, fantastic. This is connected, fantastic, and so on and so forth. I'm not quite sure there's a limit as to how many vehicles you can have in this game. I don't think there's any limit really. Just size constraints and also the ever annoying traffic jams, of course. Or thread they off. No, I put it right. Okay, that's what I figured. Yeah, towns are very predictable because they're always built in the same pattern, essentially. Okay, so December, and yeah, 5 point something already. That's not a problem whatsoever. Okay, so then I guess we start the production and see what we can do from that. No credit, no loans. That's interesting. Good on me, I guess, right? It's still hard to see here, despite the trees looking pretty nice, all things considered. I guess it doesn't make any difference except for the running cost, wouldn't you think? So 3 each here, maybe 4, something like that, but we need to get it started before we even do anything else. Yeah, so what's the problem? We should have 6 mountain bikes in a problem, right? Yeah, now we're moving finally. Now we're motoring as the saying goes. Okay, then we can start sending some trucks on the way based on demand here, ideally. So what's the situation? 14. Okay, so maybe like a couple of trucks here. I suppose then we start with this one here, I guess. Maybe it doesn't make a difference. Auto. Yeah, well, we should keep it organized, of course. That's pretty important, wouldn't you think? Yeah, 4 ought to be plenty for this, I think. Of course, the game doesn't preserve my orders because why would it do? That would be too nice, I guess. It's just ridiculous. The game has so many problems, you know, in terms of usability. Why would they not preserve our fucking orders here? I mean, seriously. Okay, so thankfully it's the final truck here of this route, which is at least a relief. Okay, get this stupid thing moving, thank you very much. Yeah, so it's getting a bit crowded here already, as you can tell, my friends. I think we're also missing a truck stop over here, aren't we? Yeah, probably. Ah, man, why can you not preserve my orders? Why? It's getting super annoying here, but I'm trying to regain my composure, but this is just ridiculous here, no matter how you look at it. And once we've achieved some sort of balance, we can also maybe take a look at the prices, you know? That's for some additional profit here along the way, that could be great, wouldn't you think? So, 3 ought to be plenty for this, I'm hoping. It's going to get pretty busy once the day is over. Especially in this area. Okay, that ought to be enough, I'm hoping, right? So we have one additional station needs to be served in some capacity. I wouldn't expect mountain bikes to be super profitable, but I suppose you're hoping. I think that we have 2 additional truck stops still available for something. Yeah, probably. This road is going to get pretty busy. Yeah, pretty busy indeed. So there is the room for a couple of trucks here, I see. Excellent. Maybe also start thinking about picking up some items on the return trip. Whatever that could be. Something nice and easy and 1-to-1 ratio. Stuff like this. So we're not using the plastic, for instance. Pick up the plastic, turn it into, I'm not quite sure, drop it off in one of those stores. What do we have available in a sporting goods outlet that only uses plastic? I think these rubber balls, right? It's not a terrible idea, so we're even doing something on the turn trip instead of nothing whatsoever. I think it's fine. It's not easy to get the camera centered here in this game. But first things first, let's build our highway here somehow. Of course, they will convert part of this to city streets, but I guess it cannot be helped. Okay, so we need, of course, a couple more outlets here. I mean, only one, because the other one will be reused, of course. It seems pretty juicy, but we don't need it right now. This will be a train angle, presumably. So we can utilize the steel over here, right? Something like this. On second thought, it seems to be a pretty good idea to do this here regardless. And there we have it. Since these two different terminals can coexist very easily with each other. Just to make sure we have enough space here for these traffic jams, you know. Looks a little bit odd, but it's a good practice. Okay, I like that. So we start with what exactly? Probably over here, I would think, right? Most likely. Yeah, did we build a truck stop over there? No, we haven't yet. So there we have it now. So okay, we start with these rubber boats here. Yeah. Okay, and then another station. I think this one is still available. West, yeah, what's your destination, your friend? Just double checking. South, apparently. So this one is still available. And as you can see now, we've flipped off a shortage. We have to identify the shortage here, of course, because plenty of trucks are still waiting. I think it's the deliveries of steel and plastic, respectively. Something like that. Yeah, okay, then we need to add more trucks here, of course, later on, but for now we need more deliveries, evidently. So, a couple more trucks here. I need new trucks, thank you, game. Of course, I have to redo all these orders yet again, while time is ticking down in the background yet again, so... It's just a little bit annoying, frankly, isn't it? Okay, 2 additional trucks, and we do the same over here, as soon as possible, so the ratio doesn't get completely, yeah, lopsided. Just clicking on this station is a problem in of itself, if you were to believe this. Okay, we're still waiting for these mountain bikes, I see, but it's within range, right? Because I did double check, indeed it is the case. Well, good, I now have to redo all the orders yet again from scratch. Isn't that lovely? Don't need too many trucks on this line anyhow. Looks like we also need one additional steel truck here. Of course, the route is a couple of times longer, makes all the difference in the boat, I see. Of course, you knew this already, but still, it's nice to have some confirmation. Okay, one additional truck, I think is all we can do here. And then I have to redo the orders yet again. Don't forget about saving the game here once in a while and see what we can do in the stores here. Is there room for improvement in terms of the prices? I think there will be. Okay, maybe not so much over here. I think we leave it well alone. Of course, we're also working on delivering some items more per month. But there's no way we can deliver like 20 something here. That's improbable, to say the least. So we're even over here. That's nice to see. Maybe also sell some snowboards or some skis here to the people in Finland somewhere. I think it would sell, wouldn't you think? But so far it's turning out pretty nice for us. Exactly according to plan, for the most part. So despite all of our expenditures, we've earned 6 million this year already. That's a good start. Are you telling me this train is too slow? Apparently it is too slow. Okay. Oh goody. Alright, that's the absurdity of the situation in this game sometimes. But we can fix this pretty easily, I'm hoping, right? I said easily and quickly. But it does work on distribution angle, sort of. I'd rather have these trains waiting, you know. So all the items are moved immediately as soon as possible. Okay, so before we continue, let's just review our existing structures, just out of abundance, of course, more than anything else. Okay, we have met the demand over here, which is good to see. We wanted to sell some tennis rackets, I don't misremember here, right? Okay, so 75% roughly speaking. That's not terrible. Same story here. So I think we've earned at least enough money to make this not an issue. These are still the old stockpiles here, of course. Okay, so I suppose we are doing some advertisement here, I would figure. Right, because there's no stockpile. Okay, there's a little bit of a stockpile, I take it back. So we are slightly too ambitious here, ever so slightly. So minus 5%, and then we can maybe plop down a house of culture, anything in between, to encourage the town to grow a bit faster around us. This is of course only a one-time expenditure, so they will get a sports stadium. Enjoy that, my friends. Here we cannot demolish it, by the way. That's the problem. Okay, interesting. That probably falls under other expenditures, right? Indeed it does. That's what I figured. Interesting. So this seems to be humming along despite the earlier indications as to the contrary. I like that. Yeah, everything seems to be humming along over here just fine. So I think we leave it well alone. Yeah, so we are encroaching on the middle of the map here, I see. Okay, interesting. So far so good. I'm enjoying this. It's not really as hectic as worrying about the electronic components. But I can see that we still have a couple of trucks to fuel here on this line. Okay. Maybe we should have delivered these items by the train load then and not by the truck load. Maybe we should have indeed. But no problem, because we can get both of them in the catchment area if we try hard enough. I guess we ought to do this. Awkwardly. Awkwardly, I said figure game. Very awkwardly is the answer. But right here, because why? Because this train station is too close, I would think. Something like that. That would be the explanation, I would think. Probably. And for this we use what exactly? Probably, yeah, maglev. Yeah, probably. It seems a little absurd in my eyes, but okay, there we have it. At least it will be quick. But one train may not actually be enough for this. Probably not, right? But it's 3 additional trucks, we can hardly squeeze in here right now. I guess then we see how it goes here in a couple of months down the line. It's only a temporary shortage, our trucks aren't waiting that long or too often. But so far it's getting pretty busy and I like that. Okay, since we have some items we can manufacture over here, then we also maybe distribute some rubber dinghies, you know, something like that. Could be a terrible idea. We already know the setup, there's plenty of space around here. We have plenty of existing outlets we can reutilize, and why don't we do this? I think it's a good idea. Not too close to the sawmill ideally because we're using it, I think. Yeah, 4,000 something. Yeah, so we should probably put at least a little bit of distance between us and that thing. Since we should learn from our previous mistakes. Ardo, how many? Okay, all the outlets I would suppose. So we need, of course, trains for this. Yeah, look at how close we can put these train stations. It's like, okay, whatever, I think I take it. It's just a little bit curious because the truck stops need to be spaced so far apart, but these ones don't. I mean, why? I'm not sure, but okay. But I don't think it needs to be that fast here. Maybe monorail will do a trick for us here in this scenario. Yeah, something like this, right? Okay, plastic in here, plastic in there, and then we need how many truck stops for this? I think we're delivering rubber boats in here, aren't we? Just double checking. Yeah, indeed we are. It's not like there is any shortage, of course, but still. Huh, okay, plenty of snowboards in here. It's a problem, of course. Yes, we can repurpose some of the production here, but I want to set up new production instead of messing about with existing infrastructure, if you don't mind. So we need 6 truck stops here someplace, I think, right? Something like that. There's even a spare one. How nice is that? Okay, so now we need to, of course, make sure we don't destroy too much of the forest, which apparently we are doing here because, well, we're cutting right into the forest. What else are we expecting to happen here, right? Cannot get any simpler here, right? With flat terrain and everything. Okay, I did build this directly into the... That's of course less ideal. No problem though, we can fix it very easily. We have the technology. It's gonna be a pretty busy road. Especially given it's only a 2-lane affair, but already. Okay, hopefully it wasn't too terrible over here, yes. Ah, there's a couple thousand here, who's really counting, right? connection to the outside world is somewhere. Okay, good idea. So then we start distributing some items, shouldn't we? So we start queuing up some production here anyway. He's moving the items over here. I guess this should be plenty. I'm hoping we don't have to use the news locomotive all the time, but usually it does make the most sense. Usually it does, right? Okay, so well, I suppose if we find the stuff in here, then we start with that right now. And then start picking some stations here for truck distribution. Want some rubber boats over there, don't they? Okay, I hope that will be good enough. So next on the line will be the other store. Well, which one? Of course, there are plenty of those things, but I think we're already delivering rubber boats in here for starters. This seems to be inaccessible because it's only for deliveries, of course. So we're looking at this particular station. Another 10 or so, I think, or 6 maybe, I'm not sure. Don't want to have too many items in the software, of course, since we're paying for all these raw materials and the production for that matter. But we also have to be concerned about traffic jams, despite keeping the main highway and the other terminals pretty separate or as much as possible. You can make the necessary adjustments later on, of course. So it ought to be plenty for this angle, I'm hoping. I do like the anthill type of situation with all these little trucks buzzing all over the place. That's very nice, I do enjoy that, even though it's not super efficient, of course, but then again, this mission, it's not too concerning. But I think there will be some excess capacity we can distribute locally if we wanted to, and I do intend to do that eventually. Yeah, of course, time doesn't stop when we're in this menu, so... okay, I think the store needs some rubber boats, I'm sure. And we're almost there already. I think we will hit our target next year, which will be 5 years ahead of schedule. That's uncalled for. Also unheard of for us here. I guess the setup at this mission was just particularly generous, who knows? At least us with one additional station for local distribution, I guess. It's gonna be one busy road here once we're done with that. We already have 85 in storage, just come to think of it. There's no way we can sell all these here immediately. That seems improbable, wouldn't you think? Our trucks simply cannot deliver this many items quite so quickly. I guess we are a little bit too ambitious here, but is there still room to deliver more items? We just have to add a couple more trucks here, of course. If only we can clone these orders, which of course we cannot. So, there's that. Or we just slow down the rate of production is also an option, of course. Or just, set in the train line to save over the access, something like that. Because having like 100 plus rubber boats in storage seems a bit excessive, frankly. But kind of funny when you think about it. Okay, in this case, I think we slowed down the rate of production ever so slightly because it's just way too much here. Yeah, we need to keep some sort of balance. I simply cannot add more truck stops here or more trucks for that matter. There's only so much capacity. Also on the road, incidentally, as you can tell. Because the town has started to convert this to city streets and there's a massive traffic jam already here because you have to slow down. And of course, there can only be one vehicle at the intersection at any given time. That's the headache with road vehicles. Yeah, so I think this here may be achievable already here. Okay, so I suppose I'm build a particularly long bridge because this can be converted. Thankfully. I'm not quite sure our vehicles will take this into consideration when it comes to the speed limits and whatever. I don't think they will. So how long can one bridge be? The answer is we don't know because we cannot build anything if there's a road vehicle on this particular tire. Because I don't know. It's the only way to prevent the town from building anything big here, by the way. So now we have to find a connection here somehow. Because there's an auto connect. Because why wouldn't it? So we have to wait for a gap in the traffic here to connect all the shit together. I'm not quite sure our trucks will be smart enough to use the bridge immediately. Apparently, they just cannot process this information, because speed limits apparently don't factor into the Pathfinder whatsoever, because the road is certainly connected on both ends, isn't it? That's what I thought, frankly. Can we force them? I don't think we can, right? No, they just aren't interested in the bridge angle. Just not interested. Well, goodie then. Oh, one truck is finally using the bridge. 2 trucks are using the bridge. That's amazing. Whatever, I don't care ultimately, because apparently we cannot fix this, because the Pathfinder is too primitive for this to work. Okay, fantastic. Okay, the target was indeed 10 billion this year, right? Just double checking. Yeah, 10 billion, and last year with all of our expenditures it was 7.2 something, so I think we're getting there. Just to make this more likely, we also increase the prices for our rubber boats here, I guess. Because once again, there's no way to assume that we can deliver this many by truck. Why are there so many mountain bikes in... Okay, whatever. When did this happen? So many? I'm not quite sure here. Okay, must have been a little bit lopsided then, presumably. It's just a relatively small shop, of course. Yeah, but the traffic jam is getting ridiculous here already. Of course, you cannot do anything about that. Nothing whatsoever. I mean, we can just increase the prices and apparently people don't complain about this. I think these situations don't happen in real life, right? Wouldn't you think? Same thing with the overproduction of mountain bikes in here. So the maglev has certainly fixed some problems, but it also created new ones. Unsurprisingly. So we should probably slow down the rate of production here as well, right? Okay, so what's the proper ratio here? I don't know. I guess. Okay, whatever. So we have one train with 3 wagons versus 6 wagons, and the situation completely and utterly changes immediately. Isn't that interesting, wouldn't you think? Alright, so I suppose then we can maybe do something here for the distribution center. I don't think it's the traffic jam because it is decreasing also slightly. So what else can we do with these mountain bikes? Is there a nearby town we can utilize? Anything that has a high enough demand? And over here maybe? Okay. This was the try then. So what's the verdict here? 15, okay. 17. 15, huh? Of course, we can do some terraforming. I guess we have to get rid of these mountain bikes somehow, because the stockpile is like a bit overwhelming. Yeah, okay, train station is not too difficult to get in here, I'm thinking, but the routing will be difficult. Also takes up plenty of space, of course, unsurprisingly. Yes, we can just use one of the local towns, I do see that, but I don't want to. That's for the additional challenge, I guess. My hope is that we only need one additional railway line here, but of course it's only my hope. Yeah, of course we can't have bridges like this, it doesn't work in this game, unsurprisingly, like many things you would expect to work. But we can go around, I'm hoping, because we have to, I guess. Maybe not the most efficient way, but as you can see, it's a bit difficult here because of all this road network, which we have started to build from scratch, of course. But maybe we can finally connect this bridge here. The entire line for that matter, that would be great. If we absolutely need a second train on this line, I will just build passing loops for this because I'm getting a little bit lazy here, right? Okay, so how many can we deliver theoretically? 17, so I suppose it's like 3 train loads and something left over. With maglev, we should be able to deliver exactly 3 train loads per month, I think. If it doesn't get rid of the access, then I'm not sure what will. Because there's way too much in here. Yeah, 200 something already. Okay, I guess I need a different outlet here already, I can see as much. We're not selling any mountain bikes over here by chance, right? Nope, we aren't. I guess I've already answered my own question then, as to what we should be doing. Yeah, just branch off here instead of worrying about a different platform. This is something we can throw together pretty easily. I didn't intend to use these trains here, of course, but the rate of production is just a bit too high for us to handle otherwise. There we go, so December of 2020. Feels like an eternity ago, frankly, right in real life, but there we go. So what was the verdict? It was 7.8 million, so we're getting here, especially if we count out all the excess, of course. No expenditures, so we see what happens during 2021. And I think we will already be succeeding with this mission, I believe here. Yeah, this is holding steady. None of our trucks are waiting. That's very good. So now we're using the bridge, but not the road. What's the deal here, game? I just don't get it. Beats me, the mysterious properties of the Pathfinder in this game. Okay, we are getting rid of our mountain bike stockpile, even better. since we have the luxury to see if we can actually have a clean year. I think we do exactly that, instead of worrying about new production facilities. But I like, once again, what we have achieved here. I think it looks pretty decent, once all the vehicles are buzzing all over the place. Yeah, the stockpile should last for this year at the very least, even if we do not do anything else. Yeah, as the saying goes, I love when the plan comes together. Because over here it certainly did, wouldn't you think? We can apparently deliver only 2 train loads per month, even with maglev. I find it kind of sad, frankly. But there we have it. But this is really puzzling me here. At least we don't have any grid logs, right? Because of the circular layout. So that was at least a good planning on my part, if nothing else. I sure hope the members of the board will be pleased with our performance, because we certainly did turn things around and then some. Our setup was not really focused on efficiency, more on eye candy, for the most part. Or sort of, I suppose. So smart, it's 2 point something million here already. I think we can make this happen, no problem, because we purchased about 1.2 million, maybe, give or take a couple of bucks here last month for new assets. And of course, never mind the other costs here, which of course also include advertisement and setting down some stadiums for the locals to enjoy. Even if we fail, we can still set up another factory here someplace over the course of next year. That should really push us over the threshold, no problem. Yeah, apparently we could use more plastic instead of steel, so why don't we change this here very brief. Yeah, it's going down, but not by a drastic number here, so I think our trains and trucks would have to wait only very shortly for new deliveries. Exactly like we wanted to, over here as well. This looks pretty decent, all things considered. Yeah, very nice. I really do like that. I'm amazed that the game hasn't crashed on me once, because it was released in 1997 for Windows 95, based on an API release in 1994 for Windows 3.x. And we're running this natively on Windows 10 64-bit edition without any wrapping or anything in between. The only thing I did was to copy the WinG libraries into the system folder. That's the only thing I did to get this running. The only thing. I think we can make this happen no problem whatsoever, despite our little inefficiencies here on occasion. So we can just enjoy the fruits of our labor, so to speak. And also take a look over here momentarily. So what's the verdict? I don't think there's any problems whatsoever. We were pretty thorough with the stuff at the start of the mission. And there's the stadium we built. How nice of us. Still using these ancient locomotives released in the 1960s. Yeah, everything seems to be just fine. I think it's the very first time in this entire Let's Play that I said these words. The very first time. Everything is just fine. Everything is humming along. There's no room for optimizations really. Everything seems balanced. It's like a 1 in a million chances here in this game, frankly. Amazing. Well, except for this part, maybe. I mean, it's even slightly slower for these trucks because they can only go 80 kph on the incline. But yeah, the Pathfinder doesn't take this into consideration, evidently. So there is no need to put any motorways in this game. Except for eye candy, maybe, but doesn't work because there are no one-way streets in this game either. How delightful. Of course, we never built any furniture industry. And of course, our moneymaker is sporting goods, unsurprisingly. And we have 156 vehicles on 1,100 roughly tires here, I guess. We do have company value in this game, but never place any factor, unlike Industriegigant 2. I do remember that. So up to 40 million, including our stockpile, I suppose, something like that. Coming to think of it, it has been quite some time since we last saw the introduction of new vehicles or new products. Yeah, I think that should work no problem, but if it fails, then we build something next year. Only needs like one factory, the simplest of production chains. Can even do it right here, because there's still some steel around, there's some aluminium. If we really wanted to. Yeah, so the ratio is only one wagon, you know, but it makes all the difference apparently. Wow, isn't that nice? Something else I have to babysit, essentially. That really is very annoying, but we can't do anything about that, despite my best efforts. Yeah, there we have it. I'm pretty satisfied today with my performance here. I have to say, unexpectedly easy mission for a change, even though it's the 7th one out of 10. So by all considerations, it should get harder instead of easier. There we have it. Yeah, 50 members of the board are already voting in our favor. That's nice. Okay, then let's just see what's in store for us next, shall we not? Okay, I would suppose it's all courtesy of a loan, right? Indeed it is. Okay, this time around, what's the deal here, sirs? Apparently one of our companies, our subsidiaries, is in crisis. Yes, and they're losing money right now, hardly idea. Alright, at the end of 2035 they want to see a profit of 8 million per year. And apparently it's considered a pretty difficult mission because the 12 members of the board will be voting for us if we succeed with this mission. Okay, so how bad is it? Well, they're losing money, they said as much, but still. Okay, they have covered the entirety of the map essentially already, so apparently the purchasing costs of these raw materials are overwhelming. I'm not sure why they would, maybe they made some adjustments here. That could be. But we cannot see it without unpausing the game, of course. Oh, Richland, hello there. Okay, so it's a pretty isolated affair. Fitness trainers, that these are focusing on something meaningful. Okay, a tunnel leading to where exactly? Okay, interesting. Pathfinding there, ×2. Not sure why the raw materials will be especially, yeah, expensive on this mission. I'm not sure. More fitness trainers, okay. At least it's a product that does actually sell for a pretty penny already. And in this mission we have to count the raw materials in from quite a distance because all the steel mills are located in the mountains or on the opposite side of the map. So it will add to the difficulty, also the terrain in of itself, of course, by its very nature. Interesting. Detroit, huh? And we're selling what exactly in Detroit? Probably not cars, because cars have not been affected just yet, surprisingly enough. Okay, also fitness trainers. I really love the fitness trainers, I see. Okay, whatever. Okay, so we save the game first, and then we see what it looks like here in terms of losses here for a month or so. Substantial. They said something about losing money, so what's the problem with these purchasing costs? Unfortunately, I don't quite remember how expensive it's supposed to be. Normally, I should say. But we seem to be throwing away plenty of steel here, though. I don't think it's more expensive than usual. I don't think it is. Are we actually losing any money? I'm not sure. But one thing is for certain, we're actually making a lot of money, but it's only very first month, of course. Could be worse, could be better. And target was only 8 million. That shouldn't be too difficult. But I suppose that we have to tackle these problems in the next episode because it was a pretty lengthy recording session, so all things considered regardless, you know. Okay, so I thank you for watching as usual, and I hope to see you next time.